Okay, now we're into getting you started. Now that you've watched my first video, you know the fundamental things that we need to start thinking about as far as getting started. So let's get right into this. Is going to be your first week, whether you're starting on a Wednesday or you're starting on a Monday, it really doesn't matter. But your first day, you're getting out there, you're going to start doing some things. And so, what should you be thinking about doing your very first week in getting started? And I want to run some numbers by you that will really help you understand the process. This is a process. It's a sales process. Now, I probably don't need to do a lot of training on you because we hired you because you have a strong people skills, you have a strong background, and you obviously have the desire to get out and start talking to people. Here's some numbers that we typically have experienced when we first started and opened up a new market. Your very first day, there's no other way to get around it. You have to get out and you have to shake hands with people and literally get out of your car and start with the very first process. And so you're going to go into 30 stops. And my recommendation is you're going to make 30 sales calls. These are cold calls. And you've got to have some thick skin. What I mean by thick skin is you're going to have some people that are going to say, hey, this is not for me, but thank you, and just walk out. But you're also going to have people that are not there. You're going to simply ask for a business card. And we'll get more into this as we go forward on the actual sales call and the pitch and so forth. But right now, I just want you to think in terms of what do you need to do. And the very first thing that you got to be thinking about is today I'm going to go out and I'm going to make 30 stops. And you're not going to quit until you do that. That's your goal for today. You're going to go out and make 30 sales calls. Now, what are you going to do tomorrow? You're going to do it again. And you're going to do it again on Wednesday, and you're going to do it again on Thursday and Friday until at the end of the week. And what can you expect from by doing that? And here's what we found with some, these are real numbers, and we found this in every market that we go into, that you could kind of use maybe as a rule of stick, or a stick of rule, or whatever you want to call it, a rule of thumb. So here's where you go. You're going to make 30 calls on day one. And let's just say that out of making 30 stops, you get a little bit lucky and you get 3 sales. The next day, you're going to make 30 more sales calls and you make no sales. Then the third day, you make 30 sales calls and you make 1 sale. And again, you're going to do it again and you make no sales. And then by the 5th day, you've made another 30 sales calls. At the end of the week, here's how the numbers break down. You've made 150 stops in this market area. Now keep in mind, you're not driving from one end of town to the other. You're driving around in a market area. So you're not burning a lot of gas, but you are getting out and you're talking. You might be going across the street. You're working a zip code. So at the end of the day and at the end of the week, you've got 150 stops. And here's what you can expect. You're going to have 25 people that are going to tell you this is really not for me and I'm not interested. We don't do direct mail. And that's okay. You respect it. Don't try and sell them on direct mail. Just say, have a great day and leave. You're going to have 50 people that are going to say, this sounds really good, but my owner that I got to meet with isn't here. I'd like to meet with them. Can I have a sample? Can I have a sales sheet? Can I have your business card? And I want to meet with them and talk about it because this really sounds good. I think we would really be interested in this. You're going to have a lot of those. You're going to have 50 people. We call them B-backs. And in sales, a lot of people have this thing about, you know what, if I can't sell them today, they're done. They're history. Well, you know what? If you can't meet with the right people, you can't sell them. So let's not rule out the B-backs because that is all part of follow-up and being persistent in sales. You're going to have a bunch of those. You're going to have about 50 of them, which is a good number. And I'm going to tell you why that's really important. And then you're going to have another 75 that are what we call warm follow-ups. Those are people that, hey, the owner's gone, he's out of town for the next month, but call back on us, or why don't you check back with us in another month or so. Or you're going to have some people who say, you know what, we just don't have the money right now. I think it's a great idea and it's a great product, but why don't you check with us in the spring, or why don't you check with us in the summer or the fall or whatever. You're going to hear a lot of that. There are seasonal businesses and there are certain types of business that like to do direct mail, but only a few times a year. And you've got to get to know them and find that out. So there's your 150. And of course, weeded in there, you've got a few sales. Now that's your first week. What do we do now going into week 2? And we're going to talk about that. So you've got your business started, you've got out there, and so now going into week 2, you have a lot of people that have said, check back with me next week. The owner's gone, going to do it. So really, on the next Monday, you want to be focusing on getting on the phones and calling those people and just saying, hey, did you have a chance to look this over? Can I meet with you again? You know, set up an appointment, go in and meet with them again, do your follow-ups, and you're good at this. You've figured this out. This is why you've gotten to be where you're at in life. You understand the value of following up. But it is really important in our business too, is to follow up. And so now, Monday and Tuesday, you're going to do some following up. You're going to be setting up some appointments to follow back up with people, and you're going to get some people that are going to say, hey, this sounds good. Let's meet with you on Wednesday or Thursday, and let's see if we can't put something together. What do you do the rest of this week? Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you should be back out and do it again. There's other market areas that you can hit that you haven't. If you've hit 150 stops in a week, you haven't even put a stop into your market area. There's so many businesses. So now what's the next market area that you want to hit that's going to be tied in with this mailer? And you're going to go out and you're going to do it again. You're going to do another 30 and another 30. And guess what? You're going to have a couple more sales and a couple more sales. And by the end of week 2, you're also, and this is really important, because if you're doing your job, here is one of the things that you can expect. People are going to call you and say, hey, you were in here last week and we didn't have a chance to talk to you, or I was a business owner, my gal gave this to me, or you're going to get a call from the person that actually handles the advertising for that business. They're going to say, hey, you stopped in, you talked to Bob, he gave me this information, we've actually been thinking about doing direct mail, can you stop back so we can talk to you some more about this? You're going to get some calls, because if you're doing your job and you're out there talking to people, those are the things that happen. And so there comes a couple more sales. By the end of your second week, you should either A, you're going to have 11 advertisers on board and we're proofing them, getting them ready to go to print, and you're going to be ready to do this all over again for the next market. Or you're going to be very, very close, and it's just a matter of buttoning this thing up and getting a few more. But you're going, this is what it takes the very first one. There's no easy way. This is a business that we're all starting. Every time we open a new market, it's like opening a new business. So now, with that being said, then you're going to go and you're going to do this all over again in the next market. And we're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about the sales process in the next video. We're going to talk about the pitch. But hopefully this will get you into the right psyche in your mind as, what do I need to start thinking about in terms of numbers? And what I just laid out for you are real numbers.